The morning sun reflected off the tarmac, glinting across rows of military aircraft that sat ready for deployment. The hum of generators, the clatter of equipment, and the precise movements of personnel created a symphony of disciplined activity. Captain Leela Grant strode across the hangar, her uniform crisp, boots polished, and flight orders in hand. She carried herself with quiet authority, though a subtle tension pressed against her chest. She had flown countless missions, led critical operations, and trained under conditions most civilians could barely imagine. But today, even that experience would be put to the test in an unexpected way. As she approached the ramp of the C-130 Hercules, a gate officer blocked her path, clipboard in hand. "Captain Grant," he said, voice firm yet polite, "I need verification from the general before you board. Standard protocol." Leela stopped, her eyes calm but her mind sharpening. "My orders are confirmed," she replied evenly. "I'm cleared to board. The general's office authorized this deployment." The officer shook his head. "I still need direct confirmation, ma'am. Without clearance, you cannot board." Leela took a measured breath, aware of the tension growing in the hangar. Every second counted. Her mission required rapid deployment. She glanced toward the command office at the far end of the hangar, noting the presence of personnel moving briskly. "Very well," she said calmly. "Please direct me to the general." Lieutenant General Thomas Vance, a figure whose reputation commanded respect and whose authority was unquestioned, was conducting a pre-flight inspection near the center of the hangar. His eyes moved with precision, scanning every corner, every person, assessing readiness, discipline, and protocol compliance. Soldiers instinctively straightened their postures, saluting as he passed, while instructors and support staff adjusted positions in deference to his authority. Leela caught his gaze, her presence steady, yet she allowed the gate officer to speak first. The officer gestured toward General Vance, signaling where she could obtain verification. Leela moved with purposeful steps, boots echoing against the concrete floor. She observed the activity around her, the meticulous attention to equipment, the coordination between teams, and the silent communication that passed between those trained to understand unspoken cues. Yet all of that faded in significance as General Vance's gaze settled on her. There was a subtle pause, a brief stillness amidst the chaos, as his eyes scanned her from head to toe. His attention landed at the base of her neck, where a faint scar traced a line just visible above the collar of her uniform. Recognition passed through his eyes in an instant. The scar was more than a mark. It was a symbol of missions completed, dangers faced, and resilience earned through years of elite operations. He stopped in his tracks, commanding attention without a word. The gate officer, sensing the shift in authority, immediately stepped aside, uncertain but aware that the moment had changed entirely. "Captain Grant," Lieutenant General Vance said, his voice firm yet carrying an unmistakable undertone of respect, "board immediately." Leela inclined her head, acknowledging the order and the silent recognition embedded within it. The other personnel present instinctively fell into alignment, their respect for the general's judgment translating into immediate compliance. Leela ascended the ramp with deliberate precision, her duffel bag secured over her shoulder, her mind fully attuned to the mission ahead. Inside the aircraft, Leela settled into a designated seat, reviewing mission briefings and tactical maps. The hum of engines and the occasional shuffle of gear provided a background rhythm, as she mentally rehearsed every maneuver, contingency, and coordination required for the operation. Yet her thoughts drifted briefly to the moments at the hangar door. The initial refusal, the questioning of her authority, and the delay were minor in the grand scheme of military operations, yet they underscored a powerful truth: appearances can mislead, and recognition of capability only comes when past experience is revealed. The scar, faint as it was, carried a story of survival and competence. Years ago, during a high-risk extraction behind enemy lines, Leela had sustained the injury during an ambush while leading her team to safety. It was a wound that healed physically but remained as a permanent testament to her resilience, strategic thinking, and leadership under extreme pressure. Every mission since then had built upon that foundation, reinforcing the trust her superiors and team placed in her abilities. Today, the Scar had spoken before she did, silently conveying authority and earned respect. As the aircraft ascended and stabilized at cruising altitude, Leela moved through the cabin, checking on her team members, ensuring communications were secured, and confirming that equipment was operational. Each member of her unit had trained under her guidance, and their trust in her decisions was implicit. Yet outside the aircraft, in the hangar, the personnel who had hesitated to allow her boarding were now observing the seamless execution of command from a distance, realizing the weight of experience and authority that her presence carried. She revisited the mission plan mentally, visualizing insertion points, extraction routes, and potential contingencies. Every detail mattered, from team coordination to environmental hazards. The scar on her neck itched slightly, a reminder that the body bears the history of past operations as the mind prepares for new challenges. She reflected on the gate officer's adherence to protocol, understanding that his hesitation was procedural, not personal. Small misunderstandings in military operations could have significant consequences, yet this delay had been resolved with proper recognition and judgment. Hours later, the aircraft reached the forward operating base. Leela led her team with precision, executing the insertion as rehearsed. The initial delay at the hangar door had faded entirely from immediate concern. Only focus, clarity, and decisive action mattered now. Her experience guided every choice, her leadership ensuring minimal risk and maximum effectiveness. Every decision, every command, and every maneuver reflected years of training, resilience, and the silent authority earned through service. Back at the base during debriefing, General Vance personally commended the team's efficiency and Leela's command. The personnel who had initially questioned her authority now had first-hand understanding of her skill and dedication. The scar, once an overlooked mark, had become a symbol of credibility, resilience, and earned respect. Leela herself remained composed, recognizing that leadership is not demonstrated through outward recognition alone, but through consistent, capable action, even when unseen or unacknowledged. In the quiet moments after debriefing, Leela reflected on the significance of the day. One glance from a general, one acknowledgment of a mark that told 1,000 untold stories, had affirmed what she already knew. Authority is not given, it is earned. Respect is not demanded, it is observed. True leadership manifests in decisive action, measured judgment, and the silent strength of experience. The scar at the base of her neck, once a minor physical reminder of a past mission, now served as a symbol of recognition, demonstrating that history, resilience, and courage cannot remain invisible forever. The hangar returned to its usual rhythm, the hum of activity resumed. Personnel moved with precision, aircraft were maintained and prepared, and training continued for the next generation of soldiers. Leela, though just one figure among many, had demonstrated through both action and circumstance the profound weight of experience and the authority that comes with it. The scar, a subtle yet powerful marker, had communicated more than words could convey, ensuring that those around her understood the depth of her capability and the sacrifices embedded in her service. Leadership, Leela reflected, is a combination of competence, endurance, and integrity. Recognition may be delayed, judgments may be questioned, but the truth of earned authority eventually emerges. One moment at the hangar door, one acknowledgment from a general, had transformed hesitation into respect and reinforced a universal truth: history, action, and courage are visible to those who know how to see. As she prepared for the next mission, Leela Grant carried with her the quiet satisfaction that authority had been observed, respect had been commanded, and the story of her service had been acknowledged without fanfare. The scar, once overlooked, had finally spoken, revealing the legacy of dedication, skill, and resilience that defined her career. In the life of a warrior, recognition may be fleeting, but earned respect endures.